Had to analyze many things over the last few years, and I would say over the last few months. I've gone through a lot of soul-searching and agonizing moments, and I've come to see that we have many more difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial, and now it must be tempered with a solid realism. And I think the realistic fact is that we still have a long, long way to go.
We're going to set the table for this segment with a book that was written by or edited by and introduced by none other than Dr. Cornel West. And the title of this book is The Radical King. And Dr. West really lays out in the introduction of this book. In his speech to staff in 1966, King explained, "There must be a better distribution of wealth, and maybe America must move towards a democratic socialism." That is coming from Dr. King, and this is Dr. Cornel West setting this up, this type of radical king in the introduction of this book. And Dr. Cornel West goes on to say that if he had lived and pursued this project, and the project he's referring to is democratic socialism, the radical king would be well known. Dr. Cornel West is exactly right about that. Further, on April the 4th, 1968, in Memphis, the last day of his life, Martin Luther King Jr. phoned Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta with the title of his sermon. Now check this out. If you ain't sitting down, you need to go ahead and sit down. This was the title of the sermon: "Why America must go to hell." I mean, that's it. That's it. I mean, Dr. King laid that out. If he had preached this sermon, according to Dr. Cornel West, the radical king would be well known. Also of note, Dr. King had a disapproval rating when he opposed the Vietnam War, and his efforts to eradicate poverty made him one of the most hated men in the United States of America. 72% of whites and 55% of blacks. Yeah. 72% of whites and 55% of blacks hated or disapproved. Let me use the word disapproved of Dr. King's opposition to the Vietnam War and his efforts to eradicate poverty in America. And Dr. King had a special response to his black critics, special for them. And he mic dropped on this. He said the following: "What you are saying may get you a foundation grant, but it won't get you into the kingdom of truth." Go ahead on, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. laying it on the line. He didn't let white leaders off either, but he had this special message for black leaders.